elements. Periodic classification of elements. Okay, students. So here in this chapter, we will be learning about the elements and their classification. Then we will learn about Daubernia's triads, Newland's law of octaves, Mendeleev's periodic table, and modern periodic table. So these are the things we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, can you recall? There are some questions given over here. Now these answers, many of you might be knowing because you have studied in your previous class, 9th standard, right? What are the types of matter? How many of you remembers what are the types of matter? Very good, Bhumi. Solid, liquid, and gases. These are the 3 types of matter. Next question is, what are the types of elements? What are the types of elements? I want all of you to give the answers in the chat box for these questions, which I'm asking. All the 4 answers should be written in the chat box. I will give you time. Afterwards, we will discuss the answers. What are the types of elements? My third question is, what are the smallest particles of matter called? What are the smallest particles of matter called? And the fourth question is, what is the difference between the molecules of elements and compounds? Now, this is a big answer, so you will not write in the chat box. You can raise your hands for the fourth answer. Those who can say the answer, it will be well and good. What is the difference between molecules of elements and compounds? Okay, Simran is there, Sanskar, okay. Okay, first let me give you the answers for the first 3 questions because many of you have given already the right answers. I will just go through it. What are the types of matter? Solid, liquid, and gas, right? What are the types of elements? Elements are metals, non-metals, and metalloids. What are the smallest particle of matter called? That is nothing but atoms. Atoms are the smallest particle of the matter. Now the fourth answer is little big. Some students have raised a hand. I will unmute them. Yes, Sanskar, I have unmuted you. Hello, Sanskar. Can you hear me? Hello. Am I audible to you all students? Okay, Simran, I have unmuted you. Simran.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon. Say the answer.
Ma'am, your voice is coming very slow. I'm not able to hear anything.
Why? Other students can hear me.
Hello,
They said yes. Okay, what about other students? I can
Hello,
hear your
ma'am.
voice clearly, Simran.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Other students
Ma'am,
are
your
saying
voice is not coming.
No, all are saying it's clear. Maybe some network issue, Simran. Last year also you faced the same problem. You were not able to hear. You were saying in between. It is very much clear.
Ma'am,
Yes.
here it is network full, but your voice is not coming.
I don't know why, because my voice
Ma'am,
is...
it is very slow. Means
slow.
it is clear, but it is very slow.
I don't know why, because other students are saying it is loud and clear. Okay, fine. Let it be. Now you are able to answer me the fourth question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what are you asking? I'm not able to hear.
You can see the fourth question, Simran.
No, ma'am, because when you was explaining all these things, I was not able to hear it.
Okay, might be your speaker problem, some problem in the mic. Okay, any other? Okay, fine. Now the fourth answer, how many of you know the fourth answer? Let me see. Okay, Sanskar is there. I am going to unmute you, Sanskar. Okay, he's not trying. Okay, fine. Okay, fourth answer is little big. What is the difference between elements and compounds? Okay, now elements know what they contain. They contain only one kind of atom in the free state or combined state, correct? Whereas compound is having more than one or two elements. Okay, fine. Okay, Simran, thank you. Now it is okay. You are audible. You can hear me. Okay, fine. Okay, Simran, now sit in that place only where network is maximum. Okay, so what is the difference between element and a compound? Element, can you give some examples of elements, students, in the chat box? Yes, Sanskar is ready to answer. Sanskar, I have unmuted you. You can answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, say the answer.
Molecules of elements contain atoms of the same element, whereas molecules of compound contain atoms of two or more different elements.
Very good, Sanskar. Right answer. Okay. Can you give some examples, Sanskar? Example of elements and example of compounds. Any other students? Okay, some have given the answers in the chat box. Let me read out. Okay, hydrogen. Anupama has given hydrogen. Oxygen. These all are elements. Chaitra Rao. Okay, helium, hydrogen, lithium. These all are what? Elements. Now give the examples of compound, students, in the chat box. What are compounds? I told you they are there will be chemical reaction between two or more elements. Yes, Aditya, correct. Water and salt. Water and salt is the best example. H2O and NaCl. They are compounds. So that means you all remember what we learned in the previous class, correct? Very good. Okay, fine. So now let us begin from Daubernier triad. First of all, we should know why we should classify the elements. Okay, there are many elements, like 118 elements in this scientific world, right? So from this 30 elements were known till now. Okay, we know that atomic mass number of only 30 elements. Okay, so these elements were discovered slowly, and they were studied by the scientists. And slowly we came to know about different metals, non-metals, metalloids. Now, can we study all the elements together? No, we have to classify them, correct? We have to classify them. Why we need to classify? To study them in a better way. Okay, we have to classify the elements to study easily. Okay, like you are having school timetable. Okay, what is the use of school timetable? If I'll ask you when is your English lecture, you will say yes, so and so day. If I'll ask you when is science lecture, you will say Monday last lecture and Tuesday last lecture. Yes, why? Because we are arranged your subjects properly in the form of timetable. Correct? Similarly, there are many elements. Okay, so we have to place them properly in a proper rows and periods. So that's why we need a table. We have to classify them. We have to classify means what? We have to divide them into different groups, different periods, and then it will be easy to study. I hope everyone understood what is the importance of periodic classification of elements, why we are studying classification of elements. If yes, put thumbs up in the chat box. Everyone put a thumbs up in the chat box. Very good, Revati. Okay. Other students, give a thumbs up. What is the importance of periodic classification of elements? Okay, very good, very good. All I have given in the chat box the answers. Okay, thank you, students. Okay, so you know why we have to classify. Now, who all classified them? There were many scientists who studied about these elements. So first we will study about Daubernier's triad. Daubernier was a German scientist. Okay, and what he suggested that properties of elements properties of elements are related to the atomic masses. Okay, so properties means what? It can be chemical properties, it can be physical properties. So all these properties are related to what? Atomic mass of the element. So what he made? He made groups of 3 elements each. That's why it is the name came as triad. So he made the groups of 3 elements each having similar chemical properties. And what they called them as, students? 3 elements each. What they called them as? Triads. What they call? Triads. Yes, correct, Sneha. They are called triads. Triads means what? 3 elements arranged in an order of increasing atomic masses. Okay. So, for example, lithium, sodium, and potassium, 3 elements. We can arrange them in the order Li, Na, and K, right? So lithium, sodium, and potassium. So we can take the mean of these elements. So we will get the atomic mass of the middle element. So what he did, he arranged the 3 elements in a triad in an increasing order of atomic mass and showed that the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the mean of the atomic mass of the other 2 elements. Okay, so I will share that with you, students. Wait a second. Okay, now here you can see, students, triad. Lithium, sodium, potassium, calcium, strontium, barium form second triad. Chlorine, bromine, and iodine. These are the group of elements forming the third set of triad. Now here, element actual atomic masses are given. 6.9, 40.1, 35.5. Okay, for lithium it is 6.9. For calcium, what is the atomic mass? 40.1. For chlorine it is 35.5. You have studied in mathematics how to calculate the mean. Yes or no? So when you will calculate the mean, what you have to do? You have to add the atomic number of first element and the third element. Third element is what? Potassium with 39.1, barium 137.3, iodine 126.9. Yes. So when you will add 6.9 plus 39.1 and divide it with 2. Why we have to divide by 2? Because we are taking the mean. How many elements we have taken? 2 elements. So divide by 2. Okay. So you can look here. So after division, what you're getting? You're getting the answer as 23. What you're getting the answer as? 23. Similarly, for strontium, what you can do? You can add 40.1 plus 137.3, then divide by 2. You will get it as 88.7. Okay. Now that is near to the actual atomic number. Okay. Similarly, when you will add 35.5, if you want to calculate for bromine, you have to add chlorine, atomic mass of chlorine and iodine. 35.5 plus 126.9 divided by 2. That will be 81.2. Okay. So when you will check again this, when you will check the answers, what you will find that it is equivalent to actual atomic mass number of sodium, 23 to 23. It is matching. Yes or no? This value and this value. Okay, both are matching. 88.7 and 87.6 is almost matching, right? And then 81.2 and 79.9 is near to 80, 81 point. This nearest. Okay, that means what? So from this, what he found out that in the triad, when he arranged the L3 elements in a triad in an increasing order of atomic masses, what he showed that the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the mean of the atomic mass of the other 2 elements. Yes or no? So However, only these three groups were known. Okay. All the known elements could not be classified. Other elements we were not able to classify. Okay. Only few elements were able to classify. That's why what happened? His law was not valid. Okay. There were demerits in his law. I hope everyone understood this much. Okay. So how to take the mean, and when he took the mean, what he got, it is matching with the actual atomic mass. Okay, fine, students. So that was about the Daubernier stride. Okay, so now here in Daubernier stride, we have studied about three types of trides. Yes, first one was having three elements: lithium, sodium, and potassium. So the atomic mass of sodium is nothing but the mean of lithium and atomic mass of lithium and potassium. Similarly, calcium, strontium, and barium, when we took, what we found, the atomic mass of strontium is equivalent to atomic mass of calcium, mean of atomic mass of calcium and barium. Okay, so that's why he made the trides, but there were limitations. Now let us see. So what happened after that? Okay, after that, another scientist called Newland. Okay, you can see Newland. Okay, this he was an English scientist, John Newlands. Okay, John Newlands, and he could arrange in the year 1866. What he did, he arranged the elements. Okay, in the increasing order of atomic masses, and what he found, that every eighth element had properties similar to those of the first. Now, how he arranged? He told that eighth element is having the properties similar to the first element. For example, sodium is the eighth element from lithium. Okay, so now let us see how it started up. He started first with hydrogen. Hydrogen was the lightest element. He kept hydrogen in the first place. Then he ended up with thorium. He found that every eighth element has the properties similar to those of the first. Okay, sodium is eighth element from lithium. Okay, when we will arrange the elements, so starting from lithium, barium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, then sodium comes. Sodium is the eighth element. Okay, so eighth element's property, chemical property, is similar to those of the first element. Similarly, if you will take magnesium, magnesium shows the property of beryllium. If you'll start checking from magnesium, okay, and if you'll reach beryllium, beryllium is the eighth element. Okay. Similarly, chlorine shows similarity to fluorine. Okay, chlorine and fluorine, they are showing the similarities, because from chlorine, if you'll start and reach to fluorine, fluorine is the eighth element, correct? So now let me show you that once one second. Let me show you that screen. Okay, so students, law of octaves. Now here you can see the musical notes. How many notes are there in music? Total there are how many notes? 7. Yes or no? Okay, 7 notes are there. So we can name it as sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Right? So it is arranged. Musical notes are given on the top. Elements are arranged how? Starting from hydrogen. Hydrogen being the lightest element. First is hydrogen. Right? And ended up with last element, that is thorium. Okay. So what he found? Sodium is the 8th element from lithium. Yes or no? Sodium stands the 8th element from lithium. And both are having the same properties, similar properties. Yes. So that's why what we call this law as Newland's law of octaves, because we are considering the 8th element. But this law was not satisfying the properties of all the elements. Like many limitations were there in this laws. So it was applicable only up to calcium. Okay. So Newland fitted all the known elements, but he was not able to fit some other elements. So he placed 2 elements in each some of the boxes to accommodate all the known elements. For example, cobalt and nickel. Okay, he placed together cobalt and nickel, and he placed some elements with different properties under the same note in the octave. So these were his demerits. Okay, was not able to place all the elements to in the same manner. So that's why another scientist came who studied about the classification of elements, and he gave us a new law that is called as Mendeleev's periodic law. Okay, so we are going to learn about that now. So okay, before that, there are a few questions over here. Explain Daubernia's triads. I want the answers in the chat box. Explain Daubernia's triad. I'll give you time, students. You can type your answers. In short, in your own words, you can write what is meant by Daubernia triad. With examples, you can write down in the chat box. Very good. I got the answer from Sneha Rokade. Okay, so correct answer, Sneha. Let me read out. It states that when the elements are arranged as per the atomic mass, you have to write increasing order of atomic mass. Very good. The atomic mass of the middle element is approximately equal to the mean of the atomic mass of the other 2 elements. Very good, Sneha. I got the answer from Bhumi. Okay, fine. Bhumi has written the information about Daubernia's triad. Very good, Bhumi. Okay, Yuvraj Singh, correct answer. He put elements in increasing mass number. Okay, fine. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, Prashant, correct answer. Balaji, right. Okay. Okay. Remaining students, now you can give the answer for the second question. Explain Newland's law of octaves. Newland's law of octaves. How many of you understood it? Write the answers in the chat box. Newland's law of octaves. In short, you can write okay, Newland's law of octaves. I'm getting the answers for that. From Manjima, I got the answer. Okay. Sneha has written, Manjima has written. Okay, what he found, every 8th element has similar properties to the first element when we are arranging them in the increasing order of atomic mass. Very good, students. Correct answers I'm getting from many students. Okay, now the third question is, name some metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Give the names of some metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Okay, iron, lead, and gold. Okay, Samriddhi. Okay, gold and silver metals. Very good, Aditya. Non-metals. Okay, I got the names of metals. Now write the names of non-metals and metalloids. Okay, lead. Okay, what else? Whatever you know, you can give the answers. Yes, Anupama, right? Yes, Sadaf. Correct answer. Okay, Aryan, sulfur. Sulfur is a non-metal, chlorine and hydrogen. Very good. Sneha, correct. Rubber, wood. Yes, Varsha, you are right. Okay, so you know what are metals, non-metals and metalloids. Good answers. So now next we are moving to the Mendel's periodic table. Okay, now stop writing in the chat box and attend here, students. Now, since Dobernier's law of triads and Newland's law of octaves failed, they both were having some demerits, right? Because we cannot use these laws for all the elements. Okay, it was useful for very few elements. So Mendeleev, he studied. He was a Russian scientist. Okay, he was a Russian scientist. You can see his picture over here in my screen. Okay, Dmitry Mendeleev developed the periodic table of elements during the period 1869 to 1872 AD. And Mendel's periodic table is the most important step in the classification of elements. Correct? So, he classified the elements, right? So, he took atomic mass as a fundamental property. He arranged 63 elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. Okay, and he then transformed it into what? A table form, periodic table of elements. So that was the first periodic table made by him. And how he arranged? According to the physical and chemical properties of these elements, he arranged the elements. 63 elements were there in his table, and all the elements were arranged in the increasing order of atomic mass number, and on the basis of what? Chemical and physical properties, increasing order of atomic mass. So molecular form, there was molecular formulas of hydrides, oxides of elements, melting points, boiling points, densities of elements, all these were calculated. Okay, and he found that elements with similar physical property, similar chemical property, repeat after a definite interval that he found. And what he stated the law. What he stated it as? Properties of elements are periodic functions of the atomic masses. So this law you should remember, everyone. Okay. So that is in my PPT, you can see in red color. Okay. Red handwriting. So mark it and keep it in your book. Properties of elements are periodic function of the atomic masses. If you'll write atomic number, it will be wrong. You have to write it as atomic mass. Okay. And the next important point is that he made some columns, vertical columns and horizontal rows. So what he called that vertical columns as, students? What is written in the screen? Read it and type in the chat box. The vertical columns in the Mendel's periodic table are called dash. Very good, Morvika. Group. So remember, vertical column means they are called as groups. And the horizontal rows are called dash. What is the horizontal rows called, students? Periods. Very good, Harshad. They are called as periods. So in this way, he arranged the elements. Okay. So Mendeleev, what he first did, he was the first man to make the periodic table. Okay. He arranged the elements in increasing order of atomic mass. and he studied the properties of elements. Accordingly, he arranged. Okay, so what he made? He made the vertical columns, and what he named it as groups, and horizontal rows he made, and he called it as periods. Okay, fine. So in this way he arranged the elements. Okay, so here now what difficulty he faced. Okay, now I'll show you his table to you. 1 second. Okay, this was a table which he made. Okay, you can see over here the groups. Okay, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Okay, so there were 8 groups. So, and similarly periods were there. Okay, but the elements were arranged: hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, the increasing order of atomic mass number, right? 1, 7, 9.4, then 11, 12, 14, 16, 19. This way he arranged the elements. Okay, so that time there were many benefits. Okay, merits was that he gave the proper place to each element in the periodic table, right? For example, the previously determined atomic mass of beryllium was 14.09. He changed and corrected the value. What was the new value given by him? 9.4. Okay, for beryllium, what he gave the value as 9.4. You can look over here. Okay, so what he made the change? Now he made it as 9.4. Previously, what was the value of atomic mass number of beryllium was 14.09. Okay, he corrected it to 9.4. That was one of the important merit of this Mendeleev periodic table. Okay, and beryllium was placed before boron. Previously, it was not before boron. Now, what he did? He placed it before boron. Okay, so that's why that is a important thing what he did. That's why that is the first merit of this table. Okay. Next, Mendeleev had kept some vacant places in the periodic table for elements that were yet to be discovered. So you can see here some vacant places. Yes, he has kept the vacant places here. Like you can see over here, these all are vacant places kept by him. Okay, why he kept the vacant places? Because he know there may be some other elements which will be discovered later on. Okay, 3 of these were unknown. He named it as Ica boron, Ica aluminium, and Ica silicon. Like that he named it. Okay, but there were many vacant places also kept. Okay. Okay, so now what he did, this Ica boron, Ica aluminium, and Ica silicon, he gave the atomic masses. He indicated it as 44, 68, and 72. Okay, 44 was, you can look, see here, 44, atomic number 44. Okay, Ica boron, what he named it as? Ica boron. Then 68. 68 is what? Ica aluminium. And 72. 72 is what? Ica silicon. These names you should remember. Okay, their properties were also predicted by him. Later on, they were discovered subsequently, and what were the names were given? Scandium. Scandium was the name for boron. Ica boron was called as scandium. Ica aluminium was called as gallium, and Ica silicon was called as germanium. Okay, so in this way, scandium, gallium, and germanium was discovered by him. The properties of these elements matched well with those predicted by Mendeleev. So due to this success, all were convinced about the importance of Mendeleev's periodic table. I hope you all understood, students. So this way he gave the names to the 3 elements. Okay, so that these 2 are the main merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. Yes, merits are may come in paper also. Write the merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. So you should be able to describe it. Okay, students. So we studied about Mendeleev's periodic table. What is the law stating? That properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. Okay, so that is the main law. Properties of elements are periodic function of the atomic masses. And what are the vertical columns called as? Groups. Horizontal rows are called as periods. And there were two merits. First of all, he determined the atomic mass of beryllium as 14.09. Then he changed it to what? He corrected the value to 9.4. And beryllium was placed before boron. Okay. And then what else he did? He left 3 vacant places in the table, that is called as Ica boron, Ica aluminium, and Ica silicon, with atomic masses 44, 68, and 72. Yes. And then what later on it was discovered, and what was the name given? Who can say the answer? What were the 3 names of this Ica boron, Ica aluminium, Ica silicon? Write in the chat box. Very good, Manjima. Scandium, gallium, and germanium. What was it called as? Scandium, gallium, and germanium. Okay. So due to this success, what he found, so his periodic table got lot of importance in chemistry because he was successful in classifying the elements. Now, what about the third merit? He also placed the noble gases. You know what are noble gases? Helium, neon, and argon. That was discovered. These noble gases was discovered, and Mendeleev created separate group for them, zero group elements. What he called it as? Zero group. Without disturbing the periodic table, he placed these noble gases also. That is called as zero group. Okay, so that is about the Mendeleev's periodic table. Now, you know what? There were some demerits. Okay, or disadvantage, you can see. Okay, so in the demerits, you can say there were some elements like cobalt and nickel. They were having same atomic mass number. Okay, so can we place 2 elements with the same atomic mass number together? No. Yes, so he was finding it difficulty to place the elements. So cobalt and nickel were having same atomic masses. So as a result, there was an ambiguity regarding their sequence in the periodic table. That was the first demerit, what he noticed. Then what else? Isotopes. Isotopes were discovered after long time. Okay, so Mendeleev, it was a challenge for him, from the Mendeleev, to place the isotopes. Isotopes means what? Elements having same atomic number but different atomic mass number. Okay, so he found difficulty in placing the isotopes in the periodic table. Okay, then then there was the rise in the atomic mass does not appear to be uniform. What he found, that atomic masses were not uniform. Okay, there was not increase in the atomic mass uniformly. In increasing order, it was not there for some of the elements. It was not possible to predict how many elements could be discovered between 2 heavy elements. So that was again a challenge for him. And the position of hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen shows similarity with halogens. So the molecular formula of hydrogen is H2, and molecular formula of halogen like chlorine, Cl2. Fluorine is also Fl2, F2. So there was similarity between the molecular formula also. So in the same way, there is similarity in chemical property of hydrogen as well as alkali metals. That is, group 1 elements are called alkali metals. Okay, so these were some of the similarities he found, that the molecular formula of hydrogen, alkali metals like sodium, potassium, etc., formed with chlorine and oxygen. So on considering above properties, it was very difficult for him to decide the correct position of hydrogen, whether it is in the group of alkali metals, group 1, or in the group of halogens, group 7. So that was the challenge he faced. Okay, so the 4 demerits are there in his table. So let us, students, we will law of octaves. Who is going to say that? Newland's law of octaves. Raise your hands. Okay, Manjima can lower your hand. Others, let other students answer. Dauberniers law you said. Now next, Newland's law of octaves. Okay, Chetan Vakode. I have unmuted you, Chetan.
Good morning,
Yeah, you
ma'am.
can. Yes, Newland's law of octaves.
The English scientist John Newland correlated atomic mass element. They are the properties in the different way. In year 1966, Newland arranged the element known as time to increase ordered the atomic mass. They started with the lightest element, hydrogen, and ended up to helium. He founded every eight element has the property similar those the first the example sodium and eighth element were lithium. Both have similar properties. And also magnesium show the similarity of beryllium and chlorine. Show the similarity of flora and Newland. Compare the similarity of the octave music. It's called the similarity of observe and eighth and first elements of the law of octave.
Okay, fine, Chetan. Okay,
Okay,
who is
ma'am.
going to state Mendel's periodic law? Raise your hand. Mendel's periodic law. Yes, Morvika, I have unmuted you.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Uh, Mendeleev was a Russian scientist. He developed a periodic table of elements during the period 1869 to 1872 AD. The most important step in the classification of elements in Mendeleev's periodic table is the fundamental property of elements, namely the atomic mass as standard. He arranged 63 elements known at that time in an increasing order of their atomic masses. Then he transformed this into the periodic table of elements according to their physical and chemical properties. Mendeleev also found that the elements with similar physical and chemical properties repeat after a definite interval.
Okay, thank you, Manjima. Okay, now all of you on the web camera once again. All of you on your web camera for the to check whether all were there. I hope yes or no. Okay, have you understood? Those who all not understood, just raise your hand. If not understood, nobody is there like that way. All the three laws you understood? Yes. Okay, fine, Manjima. If you understood, put a thumbs up in the chat box. Thumbs up. All the three laws. Newland's law, Dauberniers law, and Mendeleev's law. Put the thumbs up in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Srishti. Okay. Okay, it's 1 o'clock now. Okay, in my next lecture, I will again revise. Okay, if you're having any difficulty, you read the textbook. Okay, and go through the textbook, all the three laws, learn the merits of Mendeleev's periodic law, demerits of Mendeleev's periodic law, learn the law properly. Okay, and then in my next Monday, when I will be asking you for questions, you should be ready to answer for that. Right? Okay, I got the thumbs up from some of the students. Some of the students have not shown anything. That means some difficulty I feel you might be facing because this is the first lecture. Okay, today whatever we have studied, go through the textbook, read the textbook nicely. Whatever you are having difficulty, mark and keep it. Next lecture you can ask me. Okay, fine, students. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Okay, so shall I stop now? Bye. Have a nice day. Stay home, stay safe. Yes. Okay, so now you can leave the lecture, students. Take care. Have a nice day. Tomorrow we will meet with science part 2. Okay. Bye.